Hello, everyone. Welcome to Celsius 233, your go-to place for fiction book summaries. Today, we will unravel the story within To Have and to Hold by Mary Johnston. To Have and to Hold by Mary Johnston, published in 1900, is a historical novel set in the early 17th century in the Jamestown colony of Virginia. This tale of adventure, romance, and survival captures the essence of the harsh realities faced by the early settlers of the New World. The novel follows Captain Ralph Percy, a seasoned soldier and colonist, as he navigates the treacherous waters of colonial politics, conflict with Native Americans, and the complexities of love and duty. Through his journey, Johnston weaves a rich narrative that explores themes of loyalty, bravery, and the pursuit of a better life in an unforgiving land. Plot summary. As the day's work comes to an end, Captain Ralph Percy sits on his doorstep, pipe in hand, contemplating the stillness of the Virginian evening. The land lies quiet, the sun having dipped below the horizon, leaving a hushed and darkening world behind. Yet, Percy's mind is restless, haunted by the signs of impending danger. He recalls the great meteor that recently tore across the sky, blood-red and ominous, and the foreboding warnings of their minister, who spoke of rebellion among the Native Americans. Percy thinks of Captain John Smith, who had always been wary of Opshincanough, the native leader who watches while the colonists sleep. As Percy broods over the uneasy peace with the Native Americans, his old friend, Master John Rolfe, arrives at his gate. Rolfe, ever the optimist, brings news of the latest arrival in Jamestown, a ship carrying potential brides for the settlers. Rolfe encourages Percy to take a wife, arguing that it would tether him more firmly to the land. Percy is skeptical, imagining only a docile, rosy-cheeked woman who would be more burden than boon. But Rolfe insists, painting a picture of a home warmed by love and companionship, the promise of a future filled with children and joy. Reluctantly, Percy agrees to at least see these women. He travels to Jamestown, where he finds the settlement abuzz with excitement. The arrival of the ship has created a carnival-like atmosphere, with men eager to find wives among the new arrivals. Percy watches as the town's bachelors, dressed in their finest, flock to the market square where the women are gathered. He walks among them, unimpressed by the spectacle, until his eyes land on a woman unlike any other. She stands apart from the rest, her beauty radiant yet austere, her demeanor that of someone who would rather be anywhere else. This woman is Jocelyn Lee. Jocelyn's grace and beauty captivate Percy, and despite her clear disdain for the proceedings, he is drawn to her. There is a fire in her eyes, a pride and defiance that set her apart from the other women. However, it becomes apparent that Jocelyn is not just unwilling but desperate. Percy's curiosity deepens, and he proposes marriage not out of desire but a sense of challenge, perhaps even a touch of pity for whatever predicament has led her here. Jocelyn reluctantly agrees to marry him, seeing in Percy a means of escape from a greater danger that shadows her past. They are wed quickly, with Master Jeremy Sparrow officiating in a ceremony that feels as much like a transaction as it does a union of souls. Percy is aware of the strangeness of it all, the sense that this woman is no ordinary bride, but he presses forward, driven by some unspoken urge to protect her. They return to Percy's home, a rough but pleasantly situated house surrounded by green turf and fields of maize and tobacco. As they settle into their new life, Jocelyn's aloofness becomes more pronounced. She avoids conversation, her pride and reserve forming an impenetrable barrier. Percy, while used to hardship and the rugged life of the colony, finds himself unprepared for this new challenge. He senses that Jocelyn is hiding something, that her agreement to marry him was born out of desperation, rather than any genuine interest in him or the life he offers. Days turn into weeks, and Percy becomes increasingly aware of Jocelyn's plight. One evening, she finally reveals the truth. She is not who she claimed to be. Jocelyn Lee is not one of the intended brides sent by the company, but a woman of noble birth who fled England to escape a terrible fate. In disguise and under an assumed name, she had boarded the ship bound for Virginia, hoping to start anew. Marrying Percy was a means to an end, a desperate act to secure her freedom from a relentless pursuer. Percy, though initially angered by the deception, finds himself sympathizing with Jocelyn's plight. He agrees to maintain the facade of their marriage, offering her protection and the freedom to live as she wishes within the safety of his home. Despite this understanding, the tension between them remains. Jocelyn struggles to adapt to the harsh realities of colonial life, her pride and independence often clashing with the demands of their environment. Percy, too, is torn between his growing feelings for her and his frustration with her aloofness. Their uneasy peace is soon disrupted by the arrival of Lord Carnal, a powerful and unscrupulous nobleman from England. It becomes clear that Carnal is the shadow from Jocelyn's past, the one she fled to escape. Carnal's interest in Jocelyn is more than a mere obsession. He sees her as a prize, a possession to be reclaimed. His presence brings danger and intrigue into Percy's world, forcing him into a position where he must defend his wife against a man of considerable power and influence. Percy and Carnal engage in a deadly game of wits and willpower, the tension between them mounting with each encounter. Jocelyn, though initially frightened by Carnal's reappearance, finds herself drawn to Percy's bravery and resolve. As Percy protects her, fighting not just for her safety but also for her honor and freedom, a bond begins to form between them. Jocelyn's icy demeanor starts to thaw, and she begins to see Percy in a new light, not as the man she was forced to marry, but as a protector and possibly something more. In a climactic sequence, Percy and Jocelyn find themselves in a life-or-death confrontation with Carnal and his men. The battle is fierce, with Percy using every ounce of his skill and cunning to outwit his enemy. Jocelyn, no longer a mere bystander, shows her own courage and resourcefulness, aiding Percy in the struggle. Together, they face the threat head-on, emerging victorious but not without sacrifice. The conflict is a turning point for them both, solidifying the unspoken bond that has been growing between them. With Carnal defeated and the immediate danger past, Percy and Jocelyn are left to navigate the aftermath. The struggle has changed them both. They are no longer the strangers who stood awkwardly before the minister on their wedding day. Jocelyn, having found safety and a kind of unexpected solace in Percy's home, begins to open her heart to the possibility of love. Percy, too, realizes that his feelings for her have deepened into something far beyond the protective duty he initially felt. As the sun sets over the Virginian landscape once more, Percy and Jocelyn stand together, looking toward a future that, while uncertain, is now filled with hope. They have survived not just the external dangers of the wild land around them, but the internal conflicts that threaten to drive them apart. In this new world, they find themselves bound not by necessity, but by a shared strength and growing affection, ready to face whatever challenges may come. If you loved this, don't stop here. Check out other books by Mary Johnston. You'll find them below or on Celsius 233. Remember, while our summaries capture the essence, they can never replace the full experience of reading the book. If this summary intrigued you, consider diving into the complete story, buy the book, and immerse yourself in Mary Johnston's original work. Bye-bye, take care, have fun.